Good morning, everybody. Yeah. It's dark and I look really, really, really tall. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Let's get some ambiance. Let me shut this door. Still dark. Well, it's getting lighter. Okay, I have no idea. Yeah, I think I'm just going to get a photographer to come in here and set all this crap up. These lights. Don't switch audio, and let's get to it. Couple things. TQQ to me still looks really good. I do want to point some things out. No, too high. Oop. All right, this is in the way. There we go. That's good, right? Yay, yay. Let me just point a couple things out here. So I went over this yesterday, and it goes off like a ton of bricks. You guys realize the market's dynamic, right? Like I read the comments sometimes, and I love the comments. But I'm going to use my Texas slang. Y'all realize the market's dynamic, right? It's the best Texas as I can get, guys. So that's the CPI number right here, month over month. And that's when it was negative. And that's why it gets that special green arrow right there. Yay. And left shoulder, head, right shoulder flips the neckline. That doesn't mean that negates my inverted head and shoulders. But you have to understand your time frame. And the comments yesterday about small accounts was huge for me. So I'm going to do a whole thing on small accounts. And I'm going to actually do something in the room on it too. I'll get to it. But you see this right here and how we're rallying and how you're dropping, rally, dropping, rally. Okay, you can do that. And that would get you down about what? 1.5% on the market. That doesn't negate your head and shoulders, but it's going to crush your day trades. So I just want to start with this and preface this with when you're investing, you kind of have to make a decision. Not kind of, you have to make a decision. What are you doing? As far as time frame, like what are your time frames? For me, I can't stress that enough. I think that's very important for people to get. You know, they really need to look at their time frames and what they're trying to accomplish, and that is something that is really significant. You are overbought here, and you're going into a lot of data, like a lot of data. And I'd be real careful here at 10 o'clock because that data, like the estimates of that data they're just all over the place. So you're going to want to watch that very, very closely. All right. And for me, I can't stress that enough. So you're going to just want to watch that data and see how that data goes. So for me, I really can't stress that enough. It's really important to watch that data. And that data is all over the place. Like Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan are saying, somewhere around 300 revision. Goldman's like 600, maybe a million. It's a big, big swing. 165 seems to be an issue for target for those that are trading it. Anyway, you can see here how you're starting to roll. Just be aware of it. It doesn't mean that, it's the end of the world. You're doing it here on the SPY too. You can stay up here forever. Okay. Like you could stay up here for weeks, like you just did. You've been up here a week. So you never sell it. But when you start to crack and it starts to point down, it does mean that your trades that you're going to put on have less chance of, let's call it umph. Okay. You have less umph on the way up. So like your stocks are going to rally. Yay. Take what you get out of the way. And you saw this umph go away. Like you saw it with Netflix at all-time highs yesterday. And then everyone's like, womp, womp. Right? We saw that. And that's that RSI. That signal is why you're seeing it. This right here, womp, womp. That's why you're seeing that. So just understand where you are. And then I think it will help you make better decisions, better choices. Like I tell my son, make better choices. He's like, whatever, boomer. So let's get to here and get to this extended time. So I think this looks really good. And what I always tell people to do is you don't have to chase it. Just put an anchored VWAP there. And you can just kind of see, you got a doji breaks, uncertainty, 1, 2, 3 down. Like if you don't know your candlestick patterns, I mean, I can't help you. 1, 2, 3. See how these get smaller and smaller. Then it flips right there. That's a bullish hook reversal. It does not mean it's going to work, but there's a great spot right there to quantify risk. See how it held? Right? That's because the average person that's in decided that they wanted more. And they bought it into what? They bought it into the earnings. They bought it into the conference call. If you know when these conference calls are, and you can find something like that, they always, even if they're crappy, they'll trade up into the quarter. Like, hey, look at Macy's trading up, and Macy's is just a pig. Like this was an awful quarter. Macy's is going to be it's going to be JC Penney's. It's going to be JC Penney's. They're on the way out. They had 3 different people try to buy them now. They can't figure out how to get the deal done. It's literally like JC Penney's. And I watched Ackman try to save that. And I watched another guy try and save Sears, and they just can't do it. And Macy's has more leasing than stores, so there's even more at risk. But over time, this will be something I think I put a perma short on and just leave a short on for a long period of time, to be candid with you. I do think that this can get back down to here. I think this is going to be a disaster. I really do. But that's my head on it. And what you're seeing is you're seeing this bifurcation. I should go through this too, because this is important. You have a bifurcation in the market, guys. Goldman's telling people to short the middle. Whoa, too early for that, huh? It's like one of those those raves you kids go to. So you can, like, they're saying short the middle class. They're saying short the middle class, and the lower class and the upper class spenders, right? Like the high earners, you're going to have way more high earners, right? And then the middle earners, like they're stuck. I guess that's Macy's. So I don't know. But Walmart, Target, I guess are lower. TJ Maxx, I guess lower. And then the high end stores, which kind of makes sense. When you start looking at stuff like, this Louis Vuitton I talked about a couple of days ago, and you can see that reversal. You see Ferrari, what Ferrari's been doing, right? They're going after the high end. The high end's working. So you'll see it with Hermes as well. So you'll see these names, and they are pushing, and that stuff is working. And I think that's really important to get. So whether you agree with them or don't agree with them, whatever, but watch those names today. Like watch TJ Maxx. Like this thing's on fire. En fuego, is that what they say in Spanish? Is that Spanish? I remember once I went to this island and it was French, and they got mad because I was like a crazy American that just kept speaking English. I'm like, these people are so rude. And then the girl I was with is like, you're not even trying. And then I would try to speak French, and I butchered it so badly that they were like, please, sweet Jesus, just stop. It was awful. Anyway, you can see this, and I'd watch that really closely. Like, you want to watch this stuff, guys. Like this stuff's breaking out. And I'm wondering, what does this do for Amazon today? Is this like the kick in the butt for Amazon? Like, it might be, right? Like that might be the kick in the butt for them. So I think that's really important to get and for us to take a look at and see how that plays out. And, kind of go from there. So overall, I do think it's important to watch this. I do. I think that you could gap fill today on this. It only gets you $3-4, but it's there. And a lot of this stuff came out, it's good, but you're going to also have to watch what happens at 10 o'clock today. It's really important to watch that. But it's really going to be all about the consumer today, and you're going to see those names. I'd focus on following what you're seeing happen. So in other words, if Target's going higher and Target's pushing, then Target's probably going to continue to push, right? Now, that's a real tough one to figure out how you're supposed to buy off the open. A real tough one. So you're going to have to really watch that. You're up here. You're really up here. But it was a blowout. They did something like their same store sales are supposed to come in at 1%. They came in at 2%. Like that's a double. Like that's a big deal. I know it doesn't sound like much, but it is. So, we'll see what happens here. But that's a monster move. It really is. Not completely unexpected. So a lot of shorts are going to be trapped too, because this was a disaster. And then you had one good quarter. Like when you look at it, it's been all over the place. Like this was a disaster. Oh, they got it figured out. They really got it figured out. And then they don't know what they're doing. And no one had any hopes here. So I think that's very important. But Macy's on the other side of that, I think has some real issues there. So let's get to some of these fun ones. So NVIDIA, you had some negative comments come out today. Look, guys, you got to understand the game. I think Steve Grasso was out there saying, I sold all my stock because I got out of the way. So like how they wheeled out Druckenmiller to say he sold all his stock last time. You're either going to fall for the banana in the tailpipe or you're not. I mean, there's not much I can do about it. But I would watch these levels. And understand this. Like, just understand this part of the game. They can really manipulate the heck out of you this week. The last 2 weeks of August are historically the lowest volume weeks on purpose because everybody goes away and gets those vacations in before the kids go back to school. So just keep that in mind. And you can see how that's playing out today, right? So, but I think you can get up to that pretty quickly. You might even be up there before the market opens. And now everyone that didn't buy the close, that got out of it and sold down here with their weak paper hands is wondering what they did, right? Back to eating Hot Pockets, right? And we're up here cheering. Yay. So I would watch these kinds of names today. The other thing I would say is, did we really fall down that much? Like here we are again up here at the high, but just watch these levels. Did we really fall that much? Did we really come down that hard yesterday? I mean, is 13 basis points and 30 basis points on the Qs really going to kill us? So I don't think so. I don't think it should. I don't think it should be that painful personally. So just something that I would keep in mind and think about. Let's get to some other stuff. Let's get to the fun stuff here. So 10 o'clock, I'd watch your levels and expect volatility, like massive volatility. And, right here, you should be able to see that level and you're already hitting that and you're rejecting. But I also thought this was kind of interesting yesterday. So if you go here and you mark that 930 bar, when I marked that, like you can see that battleground all day where like they just kept changing their mind, not knowing what they were going to do. Right. And you can see that like here, look, you can just see how they were just changing their mind. Now you're getting to those highs again. And they're challenging those highs. And then it would also take you back up to here, like draw that straight across and watch how far, but wait, there's more. See how far that goes? And then you'd come here as well. Then if you come back to here and now watch, right? So you got some stuff up here. That's how we refer to it, stuff. And you can see up here as well. So what does that mean? See what I'm talking about? You need to know what you're doing. Like, what are you doing? Are you day trading? Are you swing trading? Like, what are you doing? So when you figure that out, it makes your life a lot easier. Like when someone like me is saying, oh, I'm trying to play NVIDIA into earnings. Do you really think I care about, 26 to 28? Like, I really don't. Whereas if you're day trading options, you're like, oh my God, I got to get out or I'm going to be eating Hot Pockets. Right. But you got to get out when the getting's good, not when you want to. Also, you kind of have this double tap here, but you really wanted the undercut. So that makes me concerned too. Let me just see something because I have day trade on and go from there. Cool. So let me just see how this is going. Give me 1 second. That's not great. Pardon me. Yay. All right. So I bought a bunch of this morning. So just locking some in. All right. Anyway. So you're going to watch this 10 o'clock data, and let's go back to the Qs. And let's get going. 65 is like a brick wall on target. You might want to watch that today. So I like this. I think I'm going to start using a 5 versus a 1 to clean up some of the noise. I think it's helpful. And that was really, I really appreciate the comments yesterday. It's so funny. People get so upset about the titles and thumbnails. They're like, someone else had that thumbnail or someone else had something, that title. I'm like, bro, you think I make those titles? Really? Certain words in the algorithm on certain days work if certain events happen. I don't make the rules, man. If I call it, this is a really good video, no one's going to watch it. It's just, that's the game. Sorry, guys. It is what it is. But it's pretty obvious, right? All right. So again, you're going to want to watch these levels, and you're really going to want to watch the restatements. And you have to think about this. If the restatements are so great, right? If the restatements are so great, then they're going to put you in a position where is the market worse than we think it is? So you're going to have to look at that. I think you might want to go to that Trading Economics site and watch how they update those numbers and go from there. But they're going to dive into that data. And if it's so bad, then they're going to sell the market. Like they're going to dump the market. There's no doubt about it. If the numbers are in line, then they might buy the market. But it could have an effect. It could have more of an effect than people think it can. I thought it was a non-event. The reason I think it's an event, and the reason I'm talking about it now, is because I realized that the disparity between brokerage firms is huge. Whenever you have uncertainty on a number and you have that much disparity, you want to pay attention. So it's pretty obvious, right? I'm going to draw the cap, going to be Captain Obvious there. There's a level there. You're going to want to watch it. It's not really helpful, is it? And then what we're going to do is watch that level right there. And then what we're going to do is just blow this up. Still trying to get through 65 on target. Having a tough time there. I think that's really the focal point. My larger concern here is rallies, fails, and then I start getting like cracks, right? So here, see how this starts changing colors? That's a 20 EMA on an hourly right there. Just make that better for you guys. There you go. Yay. Kind of blends in, doesn't it? Boo. Right there. Come on. Come on, you can do it. I believe in you. There you go. Yay. Let's change that. And do we want that yellow? I think that's helpful. You can see it more. So I watch this and I don't want to close below it. You see how you're holding right on that cloud, riding the lightning there. So you just want to watch. I really don't want to get below that cloud. I really don't want that to happen. That'll make me sad. So I'm going to want to watch that 56.14. On the other side of that, really what I'm doing is I'm really playing the bounces on the upside. So I'm waiting for the cracks and then to play the upside. Usually it kind of works best for me in that kind of situation. I am a little concerned that they might play the game of bidding you up, and then after they bid you up, then kind of go from there, right? Now you have this control bar, and everyone knows I love control bars right here. And I'm just going to put an alert there because I do love alerts. And what you do with this bar is you just kind of do this with it, right? And you just drop like 50%. Go, okay, well, what's going on there? And you look at that 50% line, which is also just happens to be that line. Isn't that crazy? And you just kind of want to watch and go, okay, well, I really haven't had a higher high close over that. So am I going to get that at 9 o'clock today? I don't know, but I think that's kind of interesting because that would be the first bar of this. What's the market doing? Is it pushing? Yeah, you are. Good. All right, there it goes. There goes target finally. You going to do it or what? What are you going to do? Come on, tough guy. Going to go? How much volume was that? Was it anything worth of consequence? And that's the only kind of breakout you're getting. Are you going to get more? I mean, it's a lot of volume for that morning right there. You're trying to push through. Yay. So I'd watch that here. That's a lot of volume coming in there. See it? Might be something to watch. Just saying. Couldn't get through 65 and you just did it on all that volume. It's kind of exciting. Give me 1 second, guys. Boom, boom. Yeah, you're probably going to go. They just took my stock. I actually had stock higher. Sometimes I'll put stock higher out here, and I'll do it just to see if they're going to take it. And they took it. So I'm right. And go here. What do you got for me, Kobe? What's going on? What's the haps? Send the cloud. You send the cloud. You're not the boss of me. Sorry. Get it out now. Sweet Jesus, work with me, not against me. There you go. Attaboy. See what I'm saying here, though? See how you're falling right in there? 1, 2, 3, those 3-bar patterns. I love 3-bar patterns. And then you have that right there above that 50%. I know it's not a fib, but you might want to watch it. Look at that, 66. Yay. Right into that. There you go. Boom. People ask me all the time if I get sick of winning. Nope, not at all. Let's really zoom in on this. Get that out there. Drop that down. Then I'll take questions. Got plenty of time for questions. Got 14 minutes. It'll be all about those questions today. Man, this new mouse sucks. All right. Good morning from Houston. Good morning from Miami. What's going on, Bob? What do you got for me? Walmart. I have a position in Walmart. They crashed. I think it's really interesting what's going on here. I also think that there's a way to do the trade, Bob, if you're not in it. I'll just give you a real quick way to look at it. Apologies. You know, it's weird. When I don't sleep a lot, I sneeze more. I don't know what's up with that. So here's your piercing pattern, right? So they do this to you where they undercut you, steal from you, and then they rip, right? And you can always mark those. Like the way to mark a true piercing pattern, Bob, is you just mark 50%, right? And then as soon as you flip that 50%, it's on. So they undercut it, and then they stopped at that 50. And then from there, it was the next day. Once that it's on, you can buy that bar, or you can even use that low, right? As soon as the one ticks over, and then it's good. The fact that you're lifting the way that you are is very telling on that news, because it's not Walmart news, it's Target news. Walmart moves Target. Target does not move Walmart usually. So I personally think you're going to see more and more of that kind of stuff going on there. And let me just go see something real quick. Where are we here? There we go. That's what I thought. Give me 1 second. A lot of games this morning. A lot of shenanigans. But I like retail here. I think retail's really beaten down, and some of these are looking fairly decent. I think it's also very telling when you're watching where institutions are going, isn't it, Bob? So like all of a sudden, you know, we got Nike doing Ackman, and now you have Ulta, right? All of a sudden we have people investing in Ulta, like Buffett, and Buffett looks out years. So, you know, are they going to buy Lulu next? I don't know. I do think it's interesting that these guys are stepping into this arena after we were just told, you know, how weak that stuff was supposed to be, right? Like we were just told that it was supposed to be awful, and now all of a sudden it's not too awful, is it? So let's just lock some of that in, and then kind of go from there. So that's kind of where my head is with it, candidly. So you know, that's kind of what, you know, what I'm thinking. So, you know, we'll see how this goes here, but I really like Walmart here. I really do. I like Walmart here a lot. What's up, Luke? I think he's going to say whatever he needs to say, whatever way the wind's blowing for him to get reelected, or to hold his position. I think he really likes his position. I think he likes his position way more than someone in his position should like his position. And I personally feel he was swaying one way, and now he's swaying another way. I personally felt he wasn't doing anything on purpose. And now I think that he's going to start doing a lot more. That's where my head is with it. I think he kind of thought like, okay, we're going to get a new administration, and now I don't think he knows what he's going to get. So I think he's trying to keep both sides happy. I think he's been extremely politically motivated right now. There is no reason for him to leak what he leaked about 50 basis points this week. Like there is literally zero reason for him to do that, right? Like zero reason for him to do that. And I can't be any clearer about that. Like there's just no reason for him to be that vocal. So we have to ask ourselves, like, why are you doing that? And so I think he's going to do it. I think he could do 50 basis points, even if we don't need 50 basis points. Like I think he could do it. So yeah, I do. I do think that he could do that. So let's see what we got going here. I do. You know, so we tried, and now what I'm doing is like that area where I bought, like, so if I get up to an area like this and I start rejecting, I don't like rejection. So if I start getting up to an area like here, what I'll do is I'll just start trimming. So like I'm up like $1 and change on that. So I'll just start cutting like into that. That's when you hear that little English guy speak why we're doing this. So just FYI, what's this? Yeah, I'm a human. Good Lord. Let's get through that and go here. What else do we have here that's important? What's going on? You got Luke? I do. TJ Maxx is going to be a beast. Spot, I love. Procter & Gamble, they're all over. Intuit's part of IGV. So anything IGV, I think you need to focus on. I mean, IGV is making semiconductors look like AA ball. Like the stocks actually went down. IGV's like, whatever, just keep going higher. Like, look at Oracle. Like, I mean, it's just like, whatever. Don't you want to pause? Like me? And, you know, Oracle's like, no. So they just look like they're going to rip. The IGV names look great. You know, now, you know, you're closing at all-time highs on now. You start looking at Oracle. You start looking at these names that make up the top holdings of IGV. Like, they just look like they're going to rip your head off. You know, and you start getting through this stuff, and this is where it gets goofy. You start flipping through this stuff like that, and I even saw it with Netflix yesterday. You start looking at this going, how soon before everybody kind of panics there? You know, how soon before that panic sets in? So, and like, oh, I can't believe I didn't buy this. You know, like with Netflix and Intuit and all these names, like, how soon does that panic kick in? Probably pretty soon, I think. But I would be looking at all the IGV names for 100%. That's where I would go with everything we just laid out there. IBM, I know some guys that love IBM here. I get that. I do. I don't think there's any reason to think that any of this AI stuff or any of this CapEx exists without them, and go from there. You know, I don't think that there's any reason to, hold on. Let me just click on this and go from there. So let me just make sure I got this set up right. I do. Make sure that he's got this done right. Great. And we'll go from there. Dollar Trade, Amazon. Yeah, that's really where I'd be focused today. That JD news is hysterical. People are selling that. You know, that company's got $11 in cash. $11 in cash, people blowing out of it. Crazy. All right. So anyway, so I like these names. I like these names a lot. I have so many different swing trades I'm looking at. I really don't, honestly, I can't put them all on. So I have a rule where I only put on like 3 new swing trades a day. And I think last week I did 4, and I'm doing well with those, but I love names like this right here. Like, this tells you everything that you need to know about, like, you know, what's going on out there, who's winning, who's not. Hold on one second. It should be this one, right? People love Dell. I don't like companies when they're laying people off. Like, I'm going to lay 10% of the company off because of AI. Like, you can't retool them like Apple. I would take peak VWAPs on a lot of these names, guys, and start watching those levels. A lot of these, I just start watching those peak VWAPs, just like that. And start looking at the ones that are getting over, that nobody's talking about, right? Because if you start looking at those, like those peak VWAPs, and you start watching when you flip those levels, bonk, 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 right? Like, they're so important because it means that all those people that were in there, all of a sudden now they're above their average price and they stop selling, right? That's where the pressure comes from. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let's keep going. A lot to do here today. Yeah, Target was a great beat, dude. Like, that was a huge beat. Yeah, I think that's a really good question. When do I add? I usually add when something, like, there's 2 ways to look at this, right? When something fundamentally changes. So, like, I have a position in NVIDIA that's very long term. When do I add to it? I only got 3 minutes. So, like, I bought here, right? And I said, I'm not selling until they stop needing AI chips or that slows down. And people said that could take years. And my point was, right. So if I have good earnings here, do I add to it here? There's a rule of thought, like, yeah, every time it has a good quarter, you add to it, right? So on a growth name, what I do is I'll just look for opportunity. So in other words, if I have earnings like this, I might buy it, and then that becomes a secondary position with that as its stop. And then as it moves up, I'll have another trailing stop behind that trailing stop, where it could either be swing lows or it could just be a moving average, something like that, that keeps me in it. Like I might just say, okay, I'm going to use a 22 or a 12 or something like that, right? So like if I'm buying here up in the weeds, so far off like a 55 on an ad, I'll use like a 12 or something like that on it and just keep the core. Your question's a little different because you gave me two names that are trading, and they're trading. We know why they're doing what they're doing. I own both those names, by the way. I own BTI and I own MO, and I think they're going to be beasts. Matter of fact, like I don't even sell calls against them anymore to bring money in, which you could do, right? You know that probably already. You could just sell calls against these just to bring in the extra income because they're so low beta. You're probably not going to get stopped. Like you would just sell the 52s every week and, and just keep doing it. It takes an extra 20 cents, whatever. The question that you're asking is different because you're asking about yield. So you would have to look at it and go, how much more are these going to move over the next year for yield? So it's not really earnings that's going to drive you, is it? It's really yield that's going to drive you. So it's really interest rates that's going to be your driving factor. So you would have to look and say, are they going to cut rates? I think they are. How much? I think they're going to cut rates by, you can't flip. I'm going to cut rates by 200 basis points in 12 months, right? Okay. So then the question becomes, really? You just work with me, not against me. Yay. So, and then if I can't keep breaking, I'll just blow the thing out. Or I'll just move it to like break even because we got like a little lesson, made a little money today. Yay. But what I think you have to do is you have to realize why they're moving, right? Like, why are they moving? So you're moving because of interest rates. So if you do raise like 150, let's say you raise 100 basis points next year. Where's MO? I think it's 10% higher, right, from here. So what's that get you? 18%? Good Lord, he put that lid on tight, didn't he? So that's kind of how I look at that. I think you have to ask, that's a very different question, dude. It's a really good question, but it's yield based, right? Isn't it? So what I might do with those kinds of names is wait. Like, here's what I might do with those kinds of names. Like, this is a really good question. I love questions like this because they're so like, it's like putting the puzzle, right? So what would you do with this? How do you profit from this? Let's say non-farm payrolls comes out and shows the economy's great. People don't think they're going to cut rates. And yield names drop. Buy the yield names. That's how I would do it. That's just me. I thought I'd get to way more questions today. Wow. I'm not going to have time, but I got to look at Goose. I got to look. What are those jackets cost now? Like $1,200? Are they still in? Are they still cool? Are they still the cat's pajamas? You know, people don't say that anymore. Isn't that crazy? So that's pretty obvious, right? I don't know. I'm not a fan. I mean, I get it. You can try. You can try, but I don't get it. It's all about today, 10 o'clock. Watch 10 o'clock, John. What's up, Echo? Good morning from Atlanta. Good morning from Miami. People love Atlanta. How would I learn to start? What I would do is try to understand why I care. Like, if you don't understand why you care, right, then why do you care? So where would I start? I would start trying to figure out why I care, Echo. So like, here's where I would go with it. So I would go like this. Well, I guess we'll do this because this is, again, you guys got some great questions. I just should do Q&A one day. So we just hang out, have a cigar. Oh, I'm going to do that on Instagram Live. I did set that up. I've got an Instagram account now. Huh? Okay, Boomer, calm down. So here, let me show you. Not the Instagram account. Let me show you this. This is how I would do it. You're going to get a lot of me for a second. Hold on. It's going to go away. It's going to be fine. No Jeannie, no Lisa today, or did I still have to go through this? All right. Where is that? All right. Yep. All right. You see this? So what I would do is I would go here and go, all right. And I'd start like here, like, oh, this is trading economics, right, Echo? So I'd go here and go, all right, these are the ones they have red. I'd go, give me the big dogs. And then I would take an ES chart and I would plot what happens on those days to see, do I really care about this or not, right? That's where I would start. So in other words, see non-farm payrolls in the minutes here and then Powell speech, right? So then from there, what I would do, this is such a good question. And then what I would do is then I would take like the ES and I would go, okay, or the ES, or just use the S&P, whatever. And then I would go like this and I'd go, all right, well, why do I care about this? And then let's make this basic. And then what I would do is just go, okay, well, at 10 o'clock today, this is coming out, right? So, so at 9:55, I want to know that it's 9:55. And I'm going to put an alert there. And then when that comes out, just so I know 5 minutes ahead of time or a minute ahead of time, whatever. So I want to know that when that comes out, that alert's going to go off. And then I'm going to go here and then drop an alert here and go, I want to know when the Fed minutes come out, right? And drop it and go here, Echo, like this. And then I'm going to do a lightning round, then I'm going to have to go. So like, okay, so now I got my dates marked, right? And I got my alert set, right, Echo? And then I could see, okay, well, this is what they said, and this is what happened. All right, cool. Now you have a data set. And I have a really good book on this too. I try to keep some good books in here for these topics. But it's called, give me 1 second, hold on. It's called The Hedge Fund Edge. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe I have it in the other room. I don't see it. I don't know. I don't see it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. So here, where's the, there it is. So, so here, get this book. It's by John Boucher. Get that book. And what he does, I don't know why it's dark, dude, but it's called The Hedge Fund Edge. And it's a really good book, but it'll tell you historically what these things mean. And it's usually very different than what retail thinks it means. So that's where I would start. That's such a good question, dude. I should do open Q&A. Target's gonna be a beast today, dude. I just gotta get through the 67. Lumen, let's just do Lumen. I'm not gonna have a time to do all these. I'm actually gonna have to jump in a moment, guys. I gotta hop in the room here. I got a lot on right now. I have a position in this. I'm not really doing much with it, guys. Like you're still basing. What you need to do is watch how you act. I have that level marked. You need a high close, and then you're probably going to get to that 716. GDRX, I know you mentioned this one the other day. You're into the gap. You know, can you see 8? Yeah, you can. Let me see what you got here. CIM, I like a lot. I think their dividend should have been great. Got target at 38. Wow, nice trade. I've been in twice already. I'm having trouble with that 67, aren't we? I've been long that twice today, and I short M right now. Yeah, it's gonna be ugly. They're talking about like a 15-year like ugly. It's way more important than I thought that I gave it credit for. Good morning from Miami. What's up, Eric? There's a lot. You have to learn, dude. I'm not gonna have time to get into all that. You have to actually learn. What's up, Sean? What's up, T? First time, long time. First time listener, long time listener, first time caller. What's up, Steve? What's up, Victor? I think they're good. I like both of those. We talked about that. Today, what did I do? I don't know. Usually when I'm tired, I'll just squat. So I quit complaining. So belted squats today, mostly legs, just legs, really. What's up, Simply? I am Pat. That squirrel looks like Ross's squirrel. Do you steal Ross's squirrel? I think leaps are an excellent way to do things, especially in the money leaps on some of the big dogs. I think it's an excellent way. Go look at like the leaps on Apple or Microsoft. Look how cheap they are, like historically speaking. And you can actually do like really cool debit spreads on them to pay them down. The majority of people that have like, not even that, dude, but I could do a whole video on it. Like the majority of people that have like real money, they sell puts. They sell leaps on puts. Like that's what they do. They don't buy stock because they want to get paid for time. I could do a whole thing on it. Like when you watch like billionaires, when they put positions on, they're selling leaps usually on like an Apple or something like that. They want to get paid for the time. It's definitely going to be something to watch. I'd like if it does. Let me just stay there. Arete, stay in the pocket. Simply, boom, boom, boom. Jay, look at that. She went on vacation. She forgot all about us. Lisa forgot all about us. Isn't that mean? I like REITs a lot, Christy, here. Good morning from Texas. What part of Texas? I got family in the Woodlands. There she is. Hi, Jeannie. Yeah, I think I'm going to start doing them live on Instagram. It's easier, but maybe not. I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. You can add large. Yes, you can. I like Upstart. I have a position in it. Yeah, it's a great book. It's one of those books. I like Oxy. I'm long. It's one of those books that changed the way that I viewed things. There's several books like that literally changed the way I view things. I got to jump, guys. I'm late. Trade to win.